Currently June 22nd, 2026. My aim is to compete in the Cairns Ironman on the 13th of June 2027, which is just under 12 months away. So the background of this story is I was thinking about competing in it. I competed in the 70.3 in 2024, which was awesome. And ever since then, I wanted to have a crack at the full, but just never really came about. I was toying with the idea again this year of having a crack at the Ironman next year. I've got no Ironman background. I'm into gym and fitness. I do a lot of like CrossFit conditioning type stuff. I've got a football background, but I'm not very good at swimming. I don't do cycling, so I could get away with that in the 70.3, but I think the full is going to take a lot of effort. I was thinking about documenting it. I really enjoy watching other people's videos on their journey from wherever they've come from to competing in an Ironman. I know there's lots of them out there. They've sort of been done to death. So then I thought, I won't bother filming it. There's just too much content out there. People won't be interested in it. I'll just rewind a little bit. So I moved back to Adelaide, South Australia. I grew up in mid-north South Australia. When I was 18, I moved to Adelaide. Spent probably 10, 15 years here working as a chippy. And then I got a job as a fire at the airport, which took my wife and I, up to Cairns. We spent 3 years there, which was awesome. Loved it. It was a great place to live. Got some awesome friends up there who love going back. But since coming back to Adelaide almost 12 months ago, I've just struggled with the transition back to big city lifestyle, the traffic, the people. Yeah, it's a lot different and it's been hard. So I was probably feeling a little bit lost. So I decided to go back and play country footy where I grew up with some mates that are still back there playing. I thought it was a good way to escape the city, get back to that country environment, just a good release for myself. 2 games into that season, first game I played, I really enjoyed it. It took me a little bit to get into it. I haven't played footy for 4 years, but I was really enjoying it. It was a lot of fun. I went back for the second game, which was coincidentally it was the Saturday before the Ironman that's just been, the 2026 Ironman. And I copped a knock in my knee, on my right knee. It was pretty painful. I did think it had potential to have done some damage, but I wasn't sure. Anyway, I came back to Adelaide. I was sitting watching the Ironman. I had some friends competing in the 4 and the half, and I was just tracking their progress, and it started to get the itch to compete in 2027. And I thought to myself, once I get my knee right, I'm going to get into swimming, get into cycling, and that's going to be my goal for next year, is to compete in that event. No time specific goals, just to get there and do it. I went to the doctor on the Monday. She suggested getting scans. So we got an MRI done on Thursday, which was the Thursday. So it's now Monday. So that would have been 3 days ago. Then the doctor rang me Friday morning to say that I'd ruptured my ACL and I was going to need a full knee reconstruction. So that's what's made me think I'm going to flog this. I'm going to show my progress going from knee reconstruction to full Ironman. So today it is the 22nd, Monday the 22nd of June. I'm going in for surgery tonight at 5 o'clock. So I'm very lucky. I've got some good contacts. My wife's in the orthopedic. She's an orthopedic nurse, not orthopedic nurse. She's a anaesthetic nurse. She's worked in orthopedics for a long time, so she knows a lot of people. And I was able to get in work with one of the top surgeons in Adelaide, only 3 days after after being told that I tore my ACL. So I'm keen just to get in, get it fixed, and then start building from there. So that's the basic background of this. The next few weeks will be obviously a little bit of, hopefully I can get some bit of footage and stuff from being in hospital and the surgery, and then it'll just be rehabbing for the next few weeks. I'm not exactly sure what the timeline looks like. Hopefully be walking again walking reasonably normally within 2 to 4 weeks. And then it'll be working with my physio to obviously strengthen the knee. And I think it'll work out well because I'm a terrible swimmer. So just for reference, I did the 70.3. The swim took me 55 minutes, which is, for those that know, that's almost 3 minutes per 100 meter pace, which is very, very slow. That's not going to cut it in a full Ironman. So I was thinking about getting some lessons and joining a swim club anyway, which I think will be a great start on the journey to fixing my knee. So hopefully I can make this interesting. Hopefully you enjoy following along. I'll try and measure and make it as interesting and as engaging as possible. And I'm reasonably confident that I'll be able to do it. I'm hoping if things go really well that I can push to do a good time as well, like not just complete it. In my head, maybe it's a little bit ambitious, but I'm sort of thinking it'd be nice to get to the point where I could do potentially a 12-hour full Ironman. But time will tell. We'll just have to follow along over the next few weeks. I'm trying and release sort of a 10 to 15 minute video once a week. But it'll just depend on, the first weeks will be pretty slow with the rehab side of things. But just show the highs and the lows, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Alright, hey guys, just a quick update. So I'm probably, I don't know, maybe 4 hours post-surgery. I've been awake for a couple of hours. I'm still in hospital. I'll be in hospital till the morning, but it is midnight now, so I guess we can call this officially day one of the journey from ACL reconstruction, meniscus repair to Cairns Ironman 2027. Still a bit stiff and sore. Apparently the graft they took from the quad was really good. I've just been reading through the notes. I haven't spoken to the doctor personally, so I don't fully understand all the jargon in there, but I also needed a meniscal root repair, so I think was a little bit more than what they were expecting. So I've got a pretty solid hinge knee brace on, which I'll need. It looks like I'll be wearing that for close to 4 weeks, but for now, the next few weeks or next month, well, the whole thing's going to be rehab, but definitely the next month is just going to be purely pretty much hitting rehab, rehabbing that knee, getting out of the brace, get things moving again. Yeah, the next part I think will be at home. I'll run through the rehab protocols that I've got, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just thought I'd do a quick update for now. Yeah, still just staying positive, staying optimistic. I'm just sitting here, bit of time to reflect. If I'm honest, initially I was sort of feeling a bit sorry for myself, especially when, I read the report and it sort of seemed like I was hoping for best case scenario and rehab wise, and it's probably just going to be a little bit slower than that, especially initially. But, I think about, I don't like to think about other people's hardships to make myself feel better, but it's more about just making me not feel better, but just not feel sorry for myself, because like I know people going through way tougher situations than what I am right now. This is just nothing compared to what they're going through, and just got to keep reminding myself that. So I thought I'd just add in this first week's episode what supplements I'm taking. So pretty straightforward. I've got creatine, 10 milligrams a day, 10 grams a day, so 2 scoops. That's just for muscle retention, muscle recovery. I've got fish oil caps, so omega-3 fatty acids. These are good for helping with reduce of the inflammation around the knee, because my knee is quite swollen at the moment still, as you'd imagine. I've got collagen peptides, which are good for, collagen's the main building block for tendons and ligaments. So obviously with a major ACL reconstruction and taking a graft from my quadricep tendon, these are going to be vital in recovery, and vitamin C as well. So these two together, the peptides and the vitamin C, vitamin C is also part of collagen production. So these two here specifically, I'll be looking to take sort of 30 minutes to an hour before I go and see the physio, before any sort of big physio sessions and things like that, just to help with that, help support those tendons and ligaments. And then finally, I've just got some protein powder. So general rule of thumb is 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So someone like myself, I'm 75 kilos. So I'm aiming for a minimum of 150 grams of protein a day. And again, that's just around that, maintaining my strength and my muscle as best as I can in this, especially in this period where I'm spending a lot of time sitting and not using those muscles. So yep, that's my quick breakdown of the supplements I'm using. Yeah, so I thought I'd just wrap up this week's episode. So week 1, the goal's still Ironman Cairns 2027. We'll see how that goes. But overall, it's been a tough week. The first few days were really tough, just mentally, not being able to move. The pain was okay, just more at night time when it's, you got no distractions. But I feel like I'm probably over the worst of that now, which is good. So just moving onwards and upwards with that. You can see my knee's still quite swollen. So just same principle, we're just rest, ice, compression, elevation is just the key for now. Getting through those exercises, just focusing on, one day at a time, as boring as that is. So that's this week. Next week, we'll catch up with Dave, the physio, on Monday. So for that, we can see what his plans and thoughts are moving forward. I'll talk more about him next week. He's a guru. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm just going to wrap it up. So I just want to finish this one off by saying thanks to the people that got me through the surgery side of things so quick. Obviously, there's a long way to go with recovery and things like that. But just so you understand, basically, I got the news on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock that my ACL had ruptured from Dr. Ange Moran. She was awesome. She got the results and told me what had happened. I had told my wife, she's a nurse, she's worked in orthopedics for a long time. She spoke to some people she knows. So my physio, Dave, who's worked with a lot of the top knee surgeons in Adelaide, and also Hutchie.
he is one of the top knee surgeons in Adelaide. Unfortunately, he couldn't do the surgery, but he was able to recommend and refer me to one of the top surgeons in Adelaide. I'm not sure if I can use names and stuff like that, so I'll just leave that out. But basically, he sent a referral through straight away to this surgeon, and within by 6 o'clock that night, so 3 hours later, he'd rung me personally to say that say that he'd looked at my MRI results, told me what he had seen, and that he was going away for 6 weeks, but he was happy to squeeze me on the end of his list on Monday. So, yeah, unbelievable timing. I feel very fortunate to have been able to get in so quickly with such a well-regarded surgeon. So, yeah, just a huge thanks to my wife, Amber, and Dr. Ange Moran, Dave, the physio, and Hutchie for, making this all happen so quick. I really appreciate what you guys have done for me. So anyway, that's the end of this week's episode. Let's just, keep going. I'll see you next week.